You're watching the 2026 Shriners Children's Hospital Clearwater Invitational. Set to be our best day at the beach. Highs of 76 and sunshine. And we're going to need it for all 13 games we have coming your way. 16 teams in action. That means a lot of fans from all over the country. UCLA went 1-1 yesterday. We've got Oklahoma State back in the building. The Missouri Tigers looking for their first win. And UCF, you saw a couple of the Knights fans here. They're taking on LSU in our first game of the day. We've had 6 one-run games. We've been lucky enough to see 4 of those, 3 of them by Oklahoma State. There's a trend here. The Cowgirls have been involved in a lot of drama, including some of these upset wins we've seen, with which there have been 6. We have also seen plenty of the long ball, 37 of them, 3 of those by Megan Grant, who leads the country with 8. Alongside the former SEC Player of the Year, Madison Shipman, I'm Chucky Kemp. Well, Maddie, UCF, LSU, both coming off a loss yesterday, trying to get things going here in what still has a lot of softball to play this weekend.
Both of these teams came into this weekend with a lot of momentum, too. Combined between these two teams, 9 run rule victories for them in opening weekend. But this is exactly why coaches love to have their teams come down here to the Clearwater Invitational, because they are going to be facing some of the top competition from across the country right out of the gates. You're kind of throwing your team right into the fire, so they want them to be tested, and they have been tested so far in this invitational. UCF started their season opening week 6-1. They're 1-1 down here in Clearwater. LSU 6-0 last weekend, and they have lost 2 games already. So both of these teams coming into this morning on this Saturday looking to get back on track, get a win under their belt to get things going back, moving in the right direction.
The 5th-year Tatum Clopton from Lawrence, Kansas, spent seasons at Oklahoma State to start her career. This is her 3rd at LSU. She's one of only 2 returners on this pitching staff. Big chance for her today.
I think this is a really big start for her, too, going up against this UCF lineup that is stacked top to bottom. Going to throw in the low 60s. Really good jump on that rise ball, so it's going to jump up towards the hands of these batters right at the last minute. Good changeup to go in there, as well as added that drop ball, changing the eye level. That seems to be a common theme for a lot of pitchers across the board this year.
UCF entered the weekend hitting .354 as a team, scored 66 runs in their first 7 games. Kendall Yarnell, the right fielder, leads things off. See Sierra Humphreys, she's having a great start to her season. 5 righties to lead off this order, and then 3 lefties in the bottom 4. Out straight back by Kendall Yarnell.
One thing we know with this UCF team, too, is Coach Sidney Ball Malone is not afraid to make changes. You're going to see them use pinch hitters in certain spots. Kendall Yarnell actually led the Big 12 in pinch hits last year. He was 11 for 34 as a pinch hitter last season. Started off this season with a pinch hit grand slam. I would say that's a good way to start off the year. It is also her birthday today, so happy birthday to Kendall Yarnell.
Grand slam came in the first win of the season over Maryland. She battles back in the count, 3-2. It's a couple of Kansas kids going at it here. Clopton from Lawrence, Kansas. Yarnell from Olathe, Kansas. (3-2). Hopped up on the infield. Kylie Edwards wants it, 1 out. Yarnell retired. UCF's been really good in the first inning. They've scored in the first inning in 8 of their 9 games. The only one they didn't was a win over Missouri a couple days ago in Orlando before this event started. First pitch to Aubrey Evans is low for ball 1. Another one off to a great start. Florida native and 4th-year starter. 2-0.
There's that drop ball you can see from Tatum Clopton that she's been working on. A good take by Aubrey Evans to watch that one go by, but it's so important to be able to throw a variety of different spins and movements at these batters just because of the way that the hitters have been able to adjust so quickly.
Evans on a 5-game hit streak and a 5-game RBI streak right now for UCF. Three and one.
Aubrey had a couple of doubles against Northwestern, had a home run against Georgia already this weekend. Found herself in a really good hitter's count, 3 and 1.
Ground ball up the middle off the glove of Edwards at shortstop. Tough to beat Kylie Edwards, but she does and will likely go down as a single.
One of the things that Aubrey Evans does extremely well when she's in the batter's box is adjusting to the pitches that she sees. She just reacts to that pitch out of the hand. You could hear it off of the bat too. Got a little bit jammed up, but because she was stayed inside enough, she was able to drive that one out to center field just past the diving glove of Kylie Edwards for a single.
1-on-1 out for Izzy Mertez, a sophomore from Chatsworth, California. Takes ball one high. Mertez, a little bit of a slower start average-wise, but already showing off the power this year. 3 home runs, 13 RBIs.
UCF was here in Clearwater last season. Izzy Mertez, a freshman last year, hit her first career home run here in Clearwater. It was against Clemson, a changeup off of Brooke McCubbin. Such a powerful, powerful swing from the right side. Clopton finding herself behind in the count again. She's thrown a first pitch ball to all 3 of the batters that she's faced in this inning.
There's a 4-pitch walk to Mertez. There is Cindy Ball Malone, year 8 for her. They've gone to 5 straight NCAA tournaments. They went to Supers in 2022 for the first time in program history after hosting regionals that year. She has this program in such a great spot. You just know UCF's going to be competitive. You just wonder what their ceiling is. This is a team that figures to have a pretty high one.
She has a lot of different players on this roster too, and she's going to use them in a variety of different ways. I know we'll get into it as this game goes on, but UCF has 9 different pitchers on their staff, and she will use all of them. She will use them in certain spots, in certain matchups that she feels will work best for them. She'll bring in hitters in certain situations, so everybody in that UCF dugout has to be ready for whenever their name is called.
Trying to extend this run of scoring in the first inning in all but 1 game this year. Just 1 out for Ashley Griffin, who takes ball 1 away. Redshirt senior from Noonan, Georgia. Another one who is a 4th-year starter. There's strike 1. Career best in average and home runs a year ago. She's never hit lower than 274, but she's never topped 300, so she's been super consistent right there in the upper 200s for her average over her career. Now has to be a 2-strike hitter. Got her looking big, out number 2 for Clopton.
A big way to bounce back for Clopton, too, after falling behind again. That's 4 batters in a row now that she's thrown a first pitch ball to, but she goes to back-to-back changeups in this at-bat to get Ashley Griffin looking. If you don't quite have that timing down on the release on the rise ball, go to something else, and it's so important for her to be able to have that off-speed pitch in her back pocket that she can throw for strikes.
There is a first pitch strike to Sierra Humphreys, who has just been on a tear, on a 7-game hit streak, entering the tournament to start the season. extra base hits in all but one of their first 7. And the list goes on. All Big 12, second team a year ago, 355 average.
3 for 5 yesterday with 4 RBIs. Had a 3-run home run against Northwestern.
And picking up right where she left off, into center field. Here's the throw home, not in time. A great slide by Evans to get in safely. The first inning run production continues for UCF.
Sierra Humphreys has been so clutch through the first 2 weekends for the UCF Knights. This is a pitch in the top part of the zone. She hits it right back up the middle. Watch Aubrey Evans off of second base. As soon as she sees her make contact, she immediately starts hustling towards third, rounds third base, heading straight in for home, and the slide around tag almost moves her left hand out of the way to touch home plate with her right hand to score the first run of the ball game.
26 of 78 runs scored for UCF have come in the first inning this year.
I'd imagine that's a stat that Coach Cindy Ball Malone's going to want to see this team continue to have as this season goes on. Especially being the home team, right? It gives your pitching staff a lot of confidence when they've already got a run on the board before they even step out onto the field.
Oh, 2, just outside. This is Reagan Vokun, one of a few two-way players for UCF, which you know Cindy Ball Malone appreciates, having been a superstar in that capacity in her playing days. Upstairs didn't want it, but it's a slow roller to third base, and Avery Hodge handles it. UCF on the board over LSU in beautiful Clearwater. 13 games today. In high school and has had a pretty good start to her college career, 2-0 with a 3.20 ERA. We'll see what the lefty can do against the Tigers.
Going to see her throwing from the left side. Mid-60s consistently, drop ball, curveball combination, and has that changeup that she will throw at will. Going to need that today against this very powerful LSU offense.
Jayla Lassiter leads off for LSU. First pitch swinging, and it's a base hit up the middle.
Been a couple of times now, I know it's still early in the season, where Jayla Lassiter has been all over first pitch of the at-bat. She does not waste any time, does not let Hildy Dempsey settle into the circle at all, just goes after the first pitch that she sees and smokes it straight back up the middle.
Lassiter has speed, and she showed that off in her first 2 college seasons at Ole Miss. Didn't run a ton last year, just 5 stolen bases, but she can and has had 4 on opening weekend this year. Now Sierra Daniel, who's been excellent in the 2-hole for LSU. Macy Bajeron behind her, Tori Edwards in the cleanup spot. Two and one.
Already 5 hits this weekend for Sierra Daniel.
.556 average in LSU's 3 games so far in Clearwater. The first, a loss to Nebraska 6-0. They beat Oklahoma State, the only loss for the Cowgirls, and then lost to Duke 5-3. It's a Duke team that has also beat UCF. It was the Knights' only loss on opening weekend, 5-2. First 2 runners are on as Beth Torina and company try to respond. A new look for Beth this year in the dugout instead of over at third base.
Yes, we're so used to seeing Coach Torina coaching third base. Even think about some of those great highlight clips, the Mic'd Up Mondays in SEC softball, where Aaliyah Andrews just ran straight through her stop sign at third base, and she fell down to the floor, one of my favorite clips of hers, but she's in the dugout.
Macy Bajoran takes the first pitch for a strike on the outside corner. Macy, a senior from Rayne, Louisiana. Incredible jump last season, hit .364. That was a 110-point jump from the previous year, hit 9 home runs, which was 5 more, and here she is going opposite field into right. It's bobbled for just a moment by Calvez, and Lassiter scores. Bajoran almost got tagged out at first on the cutoff, but LSU responds.
Really good swing here by Bajoran, driving this ball out to right field. It's a drop ball away, and she goes with it. Looks like Coach Cindy Ball Malone's going to come out and have a conversation with our umpires to see if they can check on this play, to see if the tag was applied by Ashley Griffin to Bajoran trying to get back into first base. Watching it live, I thought they might have had her over at first base. Remember, we do not have replay here in Clearwater, so the umpires are going to get together and have a conversation amongst themselves.
What I will say is we have seen the umpires come together and make changes. They are not going to do it here, but we saw a great call the other day on obstruction get overturned just on the field because of that conversation.
Let's take another look at this one here, the timing of it. Oh. Yeah, she gets her. She should have been out by about a step. Heads up play by Ashley Griffin too, catching that throw that was on its way back into home plate, it looked like, cutting it off and applying that tag.
You could see John Chambers, he's in great position, but it was just kind of blocked, that angle of the foot and the tag.
Another angle of it there, yep, just gets her right on that right arm.
Instead, Tori Edwards has runners on first and third against a true freshman pitcher and a 1-1 count. This is one of the most dangerous hitters in the country. We've already seen her homer this weekend, hit 18 last year, which tied the LSU record set by Bianca Bell. Out back.
Couple of grand slams in there for Tori Edwards last season as well. She's picking up speed with these foul balls that are headed back our way too. I'd say that exit velocity on the foul balls has got to be up there. Such a powerful, quiet, and explosive swing combined into one.
2-2.
Some of her home runs this year have actually gotten quite a bit of carry, almost like moonshots going straight up in the air. Typically, when I think about Tori Edwards and her swing, she hits those line drive home runs. Now that's a first, Chucky. I don't know if I've seen that before.
Up and out of play.
We got, can you call them rally chairs? Chair faces? A couple of smiles on the chairs. Add that to the list of things I'd never say on a broadcast before. But here we are.
I'm trying to think of like something.
Punny.
Punny.
Sit down.
There is the first ball onto the field next door. Long day up here. Another foul ball, great battle by Dempsey with the hitter, the caliber of Tori Edwards.
And she's going right after her too in this at bat. 8th pitch coming up next to Tori Edwards. Not afraid to work that curveball in on the hands. You've heard me talk about it before. So important to establish both sides of the plate.
Right side caught, and that is an out at first. No doubt about it on the double play. Kind of ball don't lie.
Isn't it funny? The game just knows sometimes. The game just knows. This one hit off the end of the bat of Tori Edwards right to Ashley Griffin, who in the motion of moving over to grab that line drive just was in the perfect spot to get that double play.
LSU has really struggled with 2 outs. She's 1 for 22 In the now 3+ games they've played here in Clearwater with 2 away. Allie Hutchins hoping to change that. Hutchins 2 for 11 with a double here in Clearwater. That's bounced in for ball 1. Inside. LSU had a dominant opening weekend. 6-0, had a comeback win over NC State in the 7th inning, in which they entered the inning trailing 5-2. Ground ball left side, handled over there by Jaimez, and that'll do it for the first inning. And Hildy Dempsey does a nice job to limit the damage. 1-1 after 1. Big Bird people here. I mean, we are.
Yes. Yeah.
That's not our guy that actually is here at the facility.
The Birds aren't the only stars of the show down here in Clearwater, though. We've had some great performances so far. Nigeri Kennedy, of course. Complete game, 2 hits, 7 strikeouts. Rosie Davis hitting her stride as well. 3 for 6, a couple of extra base hits in there. And how about the start that Megan Grant is off to? You mentioned it earlier, 8 home runs, 3 of those came in yesterday's 2 ball games. A couple of home runs on changeups, home run on a rise ball. And you have to pitch to her. Somebody out there is probably thinking, if she's already hit 8 home runs, why are you throwing to her? Well, it's because Jordan Woolery bats right behind her. And then Kanaya Bragg bats right behind Jordan. It's a tough lineup to face.
You can walk the bases loaded if you want to get to Brie Alejandre, who is a rising star.
Freshman with a couple of home runs under her belt, too.
All 1, inning number 2 for Tatum Clopton. LSU actually sent a couple arms to warm up in that first inning. When Clopton had 2 on and just the 1 out. This is flared out in the right field and paints the line and then spins back in, but it will keep the runner, Beth Damon, at first.
A 1-2 pitch coming in to Beth Damon, and she got so much spin on this ball that it ended up cutting back the other direction and went past Alex Franklin out in right field. Gets this one off of the end of the bat. She's got her eyes on it the entire way down the line, but watch this hop. As soon as it hits, it cuts back towards right field. Wasn't able to make it to second base. Nice job by Alex Franklin to just track that one down as quickly as possible. We have seen some pretty wild hops. That was the first one that I could say I've seen on the grass, but we have seen some on the dirt.
A ton of plays at the wall, too. The fence has been very popular. Bunt laid down really nicely down the third base line, but a strong throw from Hodge to retire Jaimez.
Perfectly executed sacrifice bunt by Coco Jaimez. Gets her bat out early and hits it off of the end of the bat, too. Avery Hodge charging in hard, makes the play over at first base. But because Hodge had to charge so far up to get that bunt, she didn't even have a chance to look over at second base to try to get the lead runner.
Ball 1 to the 9-hole, Destiny Washington, redshirt sophomore from Fort Lauderdale. Spent her first season at Marshall in 2024, had a great year there, and then didn't play last year due to transfer restrictions. Swings through that pitch for strike 1.
Coach Bob Malone did say, though, that she was able to learn a lot last season because they were able to have her travel with the team all year. Get to see the game from a different view. And sometimes that unique perspective or different perspective can kind of help you grow in some other areas of your game. A
loaded lineup top to bottom, and Cindy Ball Malone still somebody who's going to give a lot of opportunities to young players to get a chance to prove themselves, whether it's defensively or as a pinch hitter.
Chucky, you know I always love looking at hitters and their stances and the way that they get into the batter's box. I want you to take a look at the way that Destiny Washington sets up her feet almost to where her back is facing the pitcher. Her right foot is much closer to that chalk line than the back foot. To me, when I think about getting into that type of stance, it almost would seem that it would make every pitch on its way in there feel more like an inside pitch, like you're trying to over-exaggerate getting your hands out in front.
Right side, and it gets through. They will hold the runner at third base. First and third as Destiny Washington comes through.
Another two-strike hit, too, for UCF. Just getting her hands out in front on this one and hitting it straight through that 3-4 hole. So far in this game, UCF has been doing a nice job of just passing the bat along.
Back to the top of the order. First pitch, ball one, outside. This is Kendall Yarnell. 0 for 1, popped up to Kylie Edwards to start the game off. Big chance to put the Knights back in front. And Washington was kind of delayed to try to get the attention of Bergeron and ends up taking second.
As soon as she came off of first base, watch her here jogging, looking back at Bergeron, deciding if she's going to get into a rundown or if she's going to continue going all the way to second base. Really smart by her, too, to kind of speed up a little bit, dive into second with Kylie Edwards covering over at short.
Strike two, 2-2 count. UCF now 16 for 16 stealing bases. They had 15 in their opening 7 games. Check swing, but she went. Out number 2.
We were just talking about the closed stance for Destiny Washington. Kendall Yarnell has a bit of a closed stance as well, and because of that, she got going early on this rise ball up and inside. Tried to hold up her swing, but wasn't able to, and the second strikeout so far on the day for Clopton.
Nice little off-speed pitch on the outside corner for strike one to Aubrey Evans. Upstairs, Aubrey Evans played 9 years of baseball before picking up a softball as a freshman in high school. And so she started out as a first-team all-state softball player as a freshman. Play any baseball growing up?
I did not play any baseball growing up. I hit some baseball pitches in the batting cages, but I don't know if that counts.
3-1. 2 in scoring position for UCF against a team in LSU that's allowed 9 runs with 2 outs. That's more than half the runs they've allowed here in Clearwater. There's that off speed that she threw for strike 1 and gets strike 2. Full count with 2 away and 2 on. Pop back. to left field, but it's yanked foul. Lopton trying to get out of this second inning. LSU still has had movement in their bullpen on a number of occasions. 8th pitch coming. Another foul ball.
Continues to battle, kind of changes her approach a bit with 2 strikes, keeps that front foot down just a bit more than she does earlier in the count, gives herself a bit more time to react to these pitches. Got a chance to talk to her at last year's Austin Regional, and she is somebody that just loves to see the ball and hit the ball, purely relies on her reactions up there, not one that's going to go up there and sit specific pitches.
Off speed popped up on the infield for Daniel. Clopton strands a pair, the first 0 in this game with the Tigers coming up. Over on ACC Network.
I'm a bit superstitious, so I think we can all see what's happening on the screen. You can read what's happening on the screen with Sydney Lessentine for Texas A&M. When you look at her line, I'll just say there's a very common shape that you're going to see in every one of the boxes.
I'm going to follow your lead here. Normally I was
waiting. I was waiting. Are you going to say it or are you going to go for it?
6 outs away from something perfect. That is Char Lorenz reaching to start the second for LSU.
A couple of big hits, though, for going back to that Texas A&M game from their transfers coming over from Oklahoma State to the Aggies this year. We saw that Michaela Wark home run, Talon Edwards with a clutch hit in that ball game as well. Ariel Kowalewski transfer over from Florida. Had another big hit in that ball game.
Kowalewski's been there a year. She just couldn't play last year because she transferred mid-year, so Ford's happy for her and happy to have her playing this season. We'll keep an eye on Sydney Lessentine and company as they try to finish that one off. It's kind of off the handle. What a play up the middle. Aubrey Evans snagging that to rob Alex Franklin of a base hit.
What a play by Aubrey Evans. Off of the bat, I thought that was going to be a base hit all the way. You could see her even move back over towards the 5-6 hole and then react, moving up the middle. Great first step in Reed on this one, reaching all the way out with her one hand. Had the spin move throw over to first base. What a great play.
Now the LSU shortstop, Kylie Edwards, into left center field. A nice running grab out there from Destiny Washington. 2 outs. Tomorrow morning, our coverage continues with number 8 Texas A&M taking on James Madison at 9 Eastern on SEC Network. That's us at 9 Eastern, yep. Madison.
Early morning softball. Softball all day. Early softball, late softball. It's all great softball down here.
And we've got it all today, early and late. There's some awesome matchups today, by the way.
Great matchups tomorrow, too.
Sunday night, 2 of them on ESPN. Count, there's strike 1 to the 9-hole Avery Hodge. Year 2 for Hodge at LSU. Richmond, Texas native, was a 2-time national champion at Oklahoma in her 2 seasons for the Sooners. And the dirt runner goes. Throw is there! No doubt about it from Beth Damon.
Loving the defense that we're seeing down here in Clearwater, even in this inning from the UCF Knights defense. Ben Damon throwing it straight down to Aubrey Evans to try to get the Tigers stealing, and they run her down.
Big Carlin, the young, exciting Florida State lineup. That's the 10th all-time meeting between Tennessee and Florida State. It's been a good matchup throughout the years. Tennessee leads 5-4. Last meeting was the 2023 Women's College World Series semifinals, which Florida State won. Did you play them? Have you been a part of that series?
I was coaching. I was a volunteer assistant when Florida State came to Knoxville for Super Regionals, and Tennessee ended up advancing to the Women's College World Series. I want to say that was 2015. 2015.
And you did or did not win?
We won, yes. Tennessee won. I say we because I was on the coaching staff.
Yeah.
We won that series. Should be a really good game between those teams tomorrow night.
The end of the bat by Mertez, an easy one for Hodge over at third. First out of the inning for Tatum Clopton, who is looking like LSU was kind of rushing a little bit to get some arms ready when Clopton struggled a little bit in that first inning, but trying to settle in here in the third.
I think it's good to leave some of these pitchers out there and let them battle through some of these situations. You want to be battle tested. You want to see what you can do. Maybe if a certain pitch isn't working great for you one particular day, what other pitches or speeds can you go to still be able to get your team out of the inning, give your team a chance to win? Because at the end of the day, the pitcher's job is to disrupt the hitter's timing. So what can you do to continue to figure out ways to get them off balance? Because sometimes you're not going to have all your best stuff, and you're going to have to work through some things and battle through traffic on the base paths, and what better time to do it than the second weekend of the season?
1-1 count to Ashley Griffin. Good spot on the outside corner, strike two. Griffin struck out looking her first trip to the plate. This is it for LSU today. They only have the one game because they've already played 3, and then they will finish up the Clearwater Invitational with UCLA tomorrow, which is an awesome matchup. So they're going to get to go hang at the beach, maybe. Off speed outside, 3-2.
Starting to hear when Tatum Clopton goes to that changeup. I don't know if you noticed it, Chucky, but the dugout for UCF yelling out something from the dugout when they see her going to that off speed. I wonder if they see something in her delivery.
Into left field, not going to have enough. Char Lorenz goes back, 2 outs.
All the game within the game, right? Everybody's looking to get an advantage any way that they can. Maybe it's on the backswing. That's something that they're noticing. Sometimes pitchers will shorten up their stride too within their delivery. You can see the entire dugout though locked in on every single pitch.
You picked a few pitches in your time. I'm just wondering, is that something you're focused on in the dugout, in the on-deck circle, and then try to use it?
Yeah, a little bit. It was watching a bit of film too on the front end to see if there was anything that I could see with the pitcher's delivery. I was somebody that did not hear anything when I was up in the batter's box, so the only way that I would pick pitches is if it was something that I could see when I was standing in the batter's box. And sometimes it was on a delivery. Sometimes pitchers, like I said, would shorten up their stride or even change their motion with the ball inside their glove. There were times where pitchers would either go up on a certain pitch or go down on a certain pitch, kind of just tell me which pitch was coming before they threw it. I always like to joke that it was easier for me to hit when I knew what pitch was coming.
Yeah.
And I still got out 7 out of 10 times, but it might have helped for those couple of at-bats.
Two-1 to Humphreys. Inside, strike 2. Oklahoma State Duke in the second inning. Duke is responded. They are now leading that game. 6 runs for the Blue Devils. 2-2, got her. A 1-2-3 inning for Tatum Clopton, who has now retired 5 straight.
Really nice job by Tatum Clopton out there in the circle. You could see the spin on that rise ball, getting the red hot Sierra Humphreys to strike out. By the UCF Knights, Aubrey Evans involved in all of them, makes this great leaping grab up the middle. Tries to turn 2, but made the nice out on that line drive. And then how about the throw by Beth Damon? All the way down to second base, getting the runner stealing. Love to see the reactions afterwards, too, how fired up that the entire team was after that caught stealing. Let's take a look at today's keys to the game, brought to you by Shriners Children's Hospital. For UCF, to me, it was eliminate the free passes. In their last game against Georgia, they ended up giving up 4 free passes in what came out to be an 8-run inning for the Georgia Bulldogs.
For LSU, a team who had only struck out 21 times in their first 6 games. 19 strikeouts in the first 3 games here in Clearwater. They have not struck out in this game against Hildy Dempsey, who is now in inning number 3. Slow roller off the bat of Hodge. 1 out.
Eliminating the free passes for UCF going to be big for them, and limiting the strikeouts to me was a big key for LSU. Coming into today's game, they had 19 strikeouts through the 3 games that they had played here in Clearwater. 40 on the season coming in to today's ball game. In comparison, UCF just had 26 strikeouts as a team coming into today. It all comes down to trying to limit those unproductive at-bats. So what can you do, even though you're not going to get a hit every single time, but what can you do to try to just move runners over, get them over into scoring position, and maybe even capitalize on some miscues that you see on the other side of the field?
LSU had 4 run rule victories in their 6-0 opening weekend. UCF had 5 of their wins by run rule on opening weekend. 1-2 count to Jayla Lassiter. Just outside. That was clocked at 68 from Hildy Dempsey.
Got some juice on those pitches too. Feel like it's gotten higher and higher as this game's gone on.
Up the middle. Nice job at second. Throwing off her back foot. It was a little bit low. Griffin couldn't handle it from Humphreys. And we'll see how they rule it. It was an excellent glove, though.
Really tough play for Humphreys at second base, having to move up the middle. You can see where she starts out. This one hit hard off of the bat of Jayla Lassiter. Has to move to her right. Doesn't go to the backhand there, but actually keeps it in front of her. I don't even know if she got a good grip on the softball, but she had to get rid of it as quickly as she could. Griffin trying to go with the swipe to pick that ball out of the dirt.
And they did rule that a single. This is slapped to the left side and gets through. Sierra Daniel wasting no time. Back-to-back singles for LSU with 1 out.
We saw them have some success early in the count against Hildy Dempsey. Swinging first pitches, Jayla Lassiter swinging first pitch in her first at-bat, driving it up the middle, gets on board and followed up by Sierra Daniel, swinging first pitch there.
AC Bajeron. RBI single her first trip to the plate. Takes strike 1 outside.
On the plate number 12, AC Bajeron.
That was low, ball 1.
We'll see if Bergeron can fight her way back in this at-bat after falling behind 0-2. Thinking back to that Duke game yesterday, LSU did have some opportunities, some bases-loaded opportunities that they weren't able to capitalize on.
LSU's off to a 1-2 start here, but this can change really quickly. You beat UCF, you go tomorrow and you beat UCLA. That's a pretty successful weekend down here.
A little bit more pressure on her too with the chairs have some googly eyes over there I'm seeing. Extra 4 eye, oh there we go, there we go. Googly eyes, right? Is the correct term for that? Those might be the biggest googly eyes I've ever seen.
Confirmation from the truck. Nice job to catch that on a short hop. That's short by Aubrey Evans, and that's 2 outs.
Making these ground balls look really easy too, with her being able to read it. That second hop has been an issue for some of the middle infielders that we've seen throughout this invitational, and she decides to hang back and get that on the long hop.
I know you love defense. UCF only made 2 errors in their first 7 games this season. That's good for a .988 fielding percentage. First and third for Tori Edwards. First pitch, smothered by Humphreys. The throw is in time. Well, Sierra Humphreys couldn't make the throw on the first play, but makes up for it right there.
Weren't we just talking about the defense, Chucky? This one hit so hard off of the bat of Tori Edwards, but Sierra Humphreys with the diving effort to end the inning.
Welcome back to the 2026 Shriners Children's Hospital Clearwater Invitational. A lovely day down here in Florida, getting started in our 13 games, 1-1 through 3 innings between UCF and LSU. We are joined by UCF head coach Cindy Ball Malone. Coach, I asked you about your freshman pitcher. I mean, you kind of figuring things out with some of these young players. She's proven a lot today, it seems like.
Yeah, Hildy's just awesome, and she's a fighter, and I probably took her out too soon in some games earlier in the year, so, well, it's still early, but I'm learning. I'm figuring it out just like she is.
Coach, earlier this week, we asked you about your pitching, we asked you about your hitting, but your defense has me fired up here in the booth. What do you love about the defense that you're seeing so far?
Yeah, let's go. Cece making some great plays. I think even on that one we didn't get such a good play. So we're going to need it because our pitchers pitch to contact.
Appreciate it, Coach. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Great game, competitive game here in the 4th inning between LSU and UCF. Who's going to get? Tatum Clopton, Hildy Dempsey. Both of them seemingly settling in a little bit too. UCF playing great defense. Clopton's retired 5 straight for LSU. Now we'll see 6, 7, and 8 as Zoe Calvez trying to lay down a bunt to lead off the inning. Cindy Ball Malone keeps you on your toes with the subs.
I write in pencil all the time because I mess up all the time, but also to make sure that I can make the changes, the necessary changes when Coach Ball Malone gets that lineup card out.
It's a big roster. I mean, players and 9 pitchers that we know of. They could throw somebody else out there. You never know. Swing and a miss by Calvez. That is 6 straight retired now, and the 4th strikeout, I should say, for Clopton. Big news on the other field. Tyrena Jones for Duke. Bases loaded and gone. Grand slam.
How about that? That's one way, an exclamation point to put your team on top. Nice swing by Tyrena Jones out to left field. Oklahoma State answered back. Amanda Hasler with a double to left field to score another run. Good battle again, another battle. Oklahoma State just in these close games all weekend long.
Oklahoma State led 3-0 in that one, kind of similar to how they started against Georgia, and that one ended up being close. This is not close. Beth Damon got every bit of that ball for the solo home run. third of the season for Damon.
There was no doubt about it. She knew it as soon as that ball left her bat, that thing was going to hit the street out beyond left field. 2 for 2 so far in this ball game. That got a changeup for a base hit to right field in her first at bat. Tatum Clopton comes in with something different, tries to work that rise ball in on the hands, and Beth Damon is ready for it. Barrel out in front, extension, that's where you get the distance on home runs like that.
On the plate, number 12. Coco Hines.
Strike one to Coco Jaimez. Damon having a great game defensively now with the bat. Got 2 hits in the game. Jaimez had a sac bunt in her first at bat of the day. Top of the 7th between Texas A&M and NC State. Aggies closing in on the first win of the day. I don't think anything else is. I think we might be the furthest along game after that. Maybe Missouri Northwestern in the bottom of the 4th. That's what's going to be really fun about today, is just kind of keeping an eye on all the games going on at the same time. It has a very much regional feel to it, I think, because there's so much happening at once and impactful games being finished.
There's something really special too about being at the complex and being able to look over your shoulder or look behind you and see another great matchup happening on the field right next to you. As a fan, I feel like I'd want to be bouncing back and forth between the fields or try to get some of those seats that are right there at the top so I could have an eye on both fields at the same time. Fans of different teams from all over the country.
Slapped into left field. It's down. It's going to roll to the wall. Jaimez into second with a 1-out double.
First double of the season for Coco Jaimez, driving that one hard into the left center gap. Slapping from the left side, but she tracks this one all the way to her barrel. You can see how her eyes are following that pitch, not trying to pull it to the right side, but throwing her hands at that outside pitch, straight into the gap, all the way out to the wall. Really good 3-2 swing for her, too. Another 2-strike hit by this UCF offense.
4 of UCF's 6 hits have come from the bottom 3 in the order. Jaimez on first for Destiny Washington. Should be on second, I should say.
There's that changeup from Clopton, just barely missing low.
Oklahoma State tied it 6-6. Strike 2 on the outside corner to Washington. Loft speed, slap toward Edwards, who scoops it up and makes a nice throw to first.
Washington with a ton of speed moving down that first baseline. Kylie Edwards knew that, so when she charged that ball, continued to throw it on the run. We've seen some really nice plays by the shortstops here in Clearwater. Kylie Edwards, we've seen Aubrey Evans make a couple of great plays in this ball game. Audrey Jones for Oklahoma State, a freshman for them. Alina Garcia for UCLA.
Kylie Edwards is a fun one. We've watched her the last 2 years at Mississippi State. So athletic at shortstop. She's a great basketball player in high school as well. Really improved offensively last season, but she's a third-year college starter now, just her first in Baton Rouge. to the top of the UCF order with Kendall Yarnell, who is 0 for 2 and watches the first pitch outside for ball 1. LSU hoping Clopton can finish this inning, and then I think it's likely we might see a change.
We've seen some movement in the bullpen really throughout the entire ball game.
It's in there for strike 1. It's Jaden Heavner, who is the LSU ace that is currently out in the bullpen, hard-throwing left-hander. Going to eat up a lot of innings with the departure of Sidney Berzon to Oklahoma. Heavner threw a complete game in their loss against Duke yesterday. There's Beth Torina. She's got a few innings left in the arm. 60-game winner for the Florida Gators in her playing days. Was a member of their 1998 SEC championship team. She's had some good ones.
Oh, yeah. Get a chance to chat with her in the bottom of the 4th inning.
3-1 floats in there for strike 2. Of Rachel Fico, Brittany Mack,
Carly Hoover.
Hoover's still playing, longtime pro in Japan and now in the AUSL with the Blaze last year. Upstairs, ball 4. Yarnell works a walk.
Almost identical pitches to the one that Kendall Yarnell struck out on in her last at-bat, but that time she was able to hold up on that rise ball. Continue this inning for the Knights.
Cindy Ball Malone potentially making a change here. I think a runner is going to go over to first base. Samantha Ray looks the likely candidate to take the place of Yarnell at first. And a pitching change, and it will not be Heavner. It's actually going to be CC Salura, the San Diego State transfer, when we come back. Out there that she is responsible for, but overall a good outing against a very good offense that UCF has. It's going to be CC Salura, a junior from Glendale, California. A couple really good seasons for Stacy Newman-Denise at San Diego State. She threw a complete game in their win over Oklahoma State, 7 hits and 4 runs allowed.
Last season at San Diego State ended up throwing over 150 innings for them with a 2.28 ERA. You know what you're going to get when you see her out there on the circle. That drop ball, heavy drop ball to both sides of the plate, comes into this season with a ton of experience for this pitching staff. With those drop balls, that infield has to be ready for a ground ball going up against Aubrey Evans in the batter's box. That's exactly what LSU wants to in this situation to try to get out of this inning.
Strike 1 on the foul tip by Evans. I've always thought in the portal, if you can get somebody who's played for a really good coach, it's a bonus. So you get Salura, who's a great player. She's played for an outstanding coach for 2 years in Stacy Newman-Denise. They've had a ton of success at San Diego State. Slow roller left side, and Hodge lost her footing trying to charge that ball. The speed of Evans forcing the hurry, and UCF gets another run.
Talked about those drop balls from Salura. This one off of the end of the bat of Aubrey Evans. And you can see the spin on this ground ball too. Avery Hodge charging this one. It looked like that second hop ends up cutting back towards the third baseline, maybe crossed her up a bit, and that's what led her to fall down trying to field that ground ball. But with that infield ground ball, it looks like that's going to extend UCF's lead. One more run in this inning.
Izzy Mertez gets a chance with 2 outs and 2 on. First pitch from Salura down low for ball 1. Mertez, a doubles machine last year, had 16 doubles, 8 home runs, drove in 35, and walked 30 times as a true freshman. Strike 2 inside. Didn't love the call, but now falls behind.
Little arm side run on that drop ball too that she's throwing inside to these righties, making it even more challenging to get barrel underneath that pitch. Izzy Mertez just gets a piece of it. Got a chance to talk to Sydney Ball Malone last season about Izzy Mertez and her swing is very much suited to pitches at the top part of the zone, so they really worked a lot even before the season started last year on her being able to get to those pitches in the bottom of the zone.
1-2, and you've talked about the swing and the opposite field power she has, so she loves that pitch.
So good at driving the ball the opposite direction. That right center gap, she hits the ball with so much authority. Love to see the smile on happy fans too, getting the foul balls.
Swing and a miss. Salura goes back inside. One comes across on a little bit of a funky play after she entered, and they get 2 in the inning.
Couple of more runs for the UCF Knights, but it all started with a no-doubter off of the bat of Beth Damon. UCF up 3-1.
Hospital Clearwater Invitational. Moving right along in our first game of the day, 3-1 UCF leading LSU. The Tigers coming to the plate. We've got Beth Tarina, the LSU head coach, joining us now. Coach, we always talk about players getting used to their surroundings, but you have to get used to all these new players too. We just saw CC Salura into this game. How does she fit with this pitching staff?
Yeah, she's very unique. You know, she does her own thing here with the drop ball and the heavy down. She, you know, really stands out in this group. So I think each pitcher on this staff has a very specific role, and you know, she does an excellent job of executing hers and got us exactly what we needed right there.
Looking at your offense too in today's game, they've been able to get some traffic on the bases, but what do you want to see from them to be able to push some more runs across?
Yeah, I just keep sitting in the dugout thinking that we can't buy a break. You know, every ball it seems like they hit is right in the wrong spot, and everyone we hit is in the right, or I guess you could say it the other way. But then, you know, on the other hand, we make our own breaks, right? We keep hitting balls hard. We got to do things better. Like, we create our own luck. We make our own breaks, and we got to do a little more of that.
Appreciate it, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Tarina, LSU's all-time wins leader. 4 Women's College World Series, 3 straight from 2015 to 2017. Took over for Yvette Girard, whose voice we hear all the time when prepping for LSU as the analyst on their broadcast.
Her and Lynn Rollins on the call. I always learn something new. Sometimes it's about the game of softball. Sometimes it's just about life in general, but I feel like I learn something new every time that I listen to one of their calls. The googly-eyed chair is still up there, looking on, watching the defense, watching the job that Hildy Dempsey is doing out there in the circle. Has really settled in, dealt with some tough situations, and has been able to battle to get her team out of it.
Strike 1 to Allie Hutchins. 5, 6, 7 here for LSU. 5 through 9 hitters for the Tigers have struggled in their 4 games here now. 7 for 50 combined. Something is going to give for LSU at some point soon, because this lineup is just too talented. And maybe not this game, but there is going to be an explosion for the Tigers at some point just because of the talent they have.
It feels like it's just going to come down to maybe 1 or 2 games in a row where everything comes together for them all at once. They get the solid pitching out there in the circle. They get that timely hitting that they need up at the plate. There's still a lot more softball to be played in this 2026 season, although I know I keep having to remind myself it's not May, it is February. It's early February, just second weekend out. But that's where you're trying to figure out these teams, and everybody getting to deal with these tough situations is only going to make them better.
Hard hit ball, Humphreys, backhand, and the throw to first. Another hard hit ball that's playable.
I think Coach Beth Torina is going to add that to the list of the balls to where UCF just keeps robbing hits from these LSU Tigers. Sierra Humphreys moving a long way up the middle for the backhand. Look how smooth she is, working her way back up, right, so that she can get that throw over to first base on the backhand. Putting on a clinic over there at second base today.
First pitch swinging, popped up on the infield to Aubrey Evans, 2 outs.
On the play for LSU, number 20, Alex Franklin.
First 3 LSU batters in the game got on base, 2 singles and a walk. They've had just 3 base runners since on 3 singles. So no extra base hits in this game, just the 1 run. It was the leadoff hitter that scored. Now Alex Franklin trying to break up a 1-2-3 inning.
Good location there by Hildy Dempsey, too. That curveball outside, picking up speed again, 68 miles per hour. Last minute bite down on that pitch, too, I think is what's leading to a lot of these ground balls that you're seeing from LSU.
It's only the second time Dempsey was in a 2-0 count. Four-pitch walk. Tonight on SEC Network, an action-packed doubleheader starting with Tennessee hosting LSU at 6 Eastern, followed by South Carolina squaring off against Alabama. That's men's basketball coming your way, also available on the ESPN app.
Number 67, Kylie Edwards.
Kind of in softball mode, so when we're thinking basketball, I'm like, oh yeah, it's still basketball.
And I keep skipping ahead to talking about mayhem and it being May and softball season, but March Madness is right around the corner.
You fill a bracket out for both tournaments? Are you that person or not?
I did not fill out a bracket last year, no.
Strike 1 after the 4-pitch walk to Kylie Edwards.
I always love watching, too, which teams just battle their way through. So much fun. Great time of year, too. We got so many sports happening. Basketball, softball, baseball, gymnastics.
Right 2. Up and in, that got Edwards. And no, the umpire is going to call her back to the plate and say she kind of leaned in, I believe.
Our home plate umpire, Coach Philip Friel's going to bring Kylie Edwards back into the batter's box. The batters have a right to the box, so they do not have to move when that pitch enters the batter's box, but you can't leave the batter's box, lean outside of the batter's box to get hit by the pitch. Take another look at it here. Let's see where Kylie Edwards is when this pitch crosses the plate. You'll see a lot of batters, too, crowding the chalk line just naturally where they stand in their stance. She steps across. And what he's calling there is when she stepped across, her hands end up being outside of that chalk line when contact was made on that elbow guard.
Ground ball left side, doesn't matter. Kylie Edwards comes through with a single.
I think if you'd ask Kylie Edwards, she'll take the base hit over the hit by pitch any day. Battling in a 2-strike count. This is that curveball with a little bit of down bite in on the hands to Kylie Edwards, and she throws her hands at it. Couple of hops, skips straight through the 5-6 hole for a 2-out base hit.
It will not be Avery Hodge coming to the plate. It looks like the true freshman from California, Ciela Pickett, is going to hit.
Stepping in for LSU, number 44, Sierra Pickett.
This is her first at-bat of the season. Her lone stat recorded is a putout. She's played in just one game this year. True freshman trying to make a big impact against another true freshman in the circle who might be done for the day. It looks like this is it for Hildy Dempsey.
Looks like Isabella Vega coming in relief. New batter in the batter's box, new pitcher in the pitcher's circle. High fives all around for Hildy Dempsey and the job that she did today. I don't know who's going to be happier about her performance, Coach Sydney Ball-Malone or those googly-eyed chairs over there that have been looking on, watching her performance in the dugout all game long. 3 2/3 innings pitched, just gave up the 6 hits, 1 earned run. Had a couple of walks in there, no strikeouts, but I thought she was really efficient in the way that she was going after batters, attacking them early in the count, and really trusting her movement, relying on her velocity as well that kept ticking up as the game went on.
There is Isabella Vega, the redshirt sophomore from Bradenton, Florida. Their staff ace a year ago, won 14 games with a 1.70 ERA and 135 2/3 innings pitched. 9 innings pitched this year and a 3.11 ERA.
And you notice too, when Coach Ball-Malone makes some of these changes, usually when she's bringing in a pitcher, that next pitcher throws completely different than what the offense has been seeing prior to the pitcher entering the ball game, and that's exactly what's happening here with Isabella Vega. Low 60, she likes to see that velocity stay 61, 62, likes to throw that rise ball. To me, it's a heavy rise ball, I'm going to call it, just because of the late jump that it gets. Starts breaking pretty much about halfway between the pitcher and home plate. Does have that changeup too, so you're going to see that steady combination of rise balls and changeups with Isabella Vega out there in the circle.
They've used all 9 pitchers that they have on their roster this year, and Hildy Dempsey certainly, with a performance like that, is going to cement herself as one of the top arms on this staff against this type of a lineup. Those 2 runners she is responsible for. Now the chairs get a look at Vega from the dugout in the bottom of the 4th. And Ciela Pickett gets her first career at bat. First pitch strike on the off speed. Inside, ball 1. You remember your first career at bat?
I don't remember my first career collegiate at bat. I remember my first career professional at bat.
And?
Hit a screaming, softly hit ground ball to the shortstop that I somehow was able to beat out.
Good spot on the inside corner. You could see that pitch with some late movement.
Really late break. I know when we talk about a pitch having a heaviness to it, usually we associate that with drop balls, but I feel the same way about her rise ball with that late break.
One, two. Over to Humphreys, and that'll do it. Job done for the sophomore Vega. UCF up 2 going to the 5th. Clear skies. This is how we got here. UCF up 2. They're 7, 8, 9 hitters with 4 hits, 2 extra base hits. LSU's offense a little bit quiet so far, at least from the run production standpoint. Jayla Lassiter is 2 for 2, and she will lead off the 5th inning.
Leading off for the Knights, number 27, Ashley Griffin.
First pitch fouled down the right field line by Ashley Griffin. 4, 5, 6 here. Griffin, Humphreys, Vokun for UCF.
Love seeing those stats about the bottom of the order for UCF too. We talk all the time about these teams wanting to lengthen out their lineup, get as much production top to bottom. Ciela Pickett staying in over at third base.
Two strikes. This is CC Salura's first full inning of work in the LSU circle. Talking to Beth Torina about this new staff, just 2 returners for LSU in the staff. Lost Sydney Berzon, transferred to Oklahoma. But the transfers, Peyton Monticelli from Oklahoma, CC Salura from San Diego State, Tatum Clopton returns. She had a good year last year as kind of their 3rd arm. So softly lined into center field. To Beth Torina's point, it has kind of worked that way today.
Well, you know what, I'm watching Ashley Griffin's swings, especially after the first swing she took in this at-bat. It almost looked like she was shortening up her swing to be able to get to that high-velocity drop ball of CC Salura. And it worked. Got it right off the end of the bat, straight up the middle to get things going in the top of the 5th and set the table for Sierra Humphreys.
CC with a big chance. She just kind of runs in her blood. She played for her mom, Krista, at Centennial High School. There they are, mom coaching when she was young, mom coaching her in high school, and it was always meant to be with CC Humphreys because mom was a stud too. She was a 3-time national champion. That was their 1993 national championship team. They won 3 out of 4 years the national title, only to be broken up by UCLA and Sharon Backus, and that is why Oklahoma just a couple years ago became the first 4-peat in history. Humphreys with nobody out and 1 on. Ground ball left side, chance for 2. The freshman's throw was just a little high. This actually, not sure what they're calling this.
Wondering if they're saying that it hit off of Sierra Humphreys' foot. Is that the call? Because she never left the batter's box.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a tense situation brewing over here between UCF, LSU. Tense over there between Oklahoma State and Duke. Look like bases loaded, 1 away. Let's take another look at this swing here by Humphreys. Yeah, it hits. It looks like it hits right off of the toe. Yeah, right off of the toe.
This is going to be a double play. They're going to say this was live, and the home plate umpire, Phil Friels, the UCF side was very upset, and Friels was adamant, saying, I never called anything.
Stepping in, number 32 is Zoe Kelman.
Ends up being a tailor-made double play for LSU there. To me, watching those views again, we do not have video review. It looked like it hit off of Humphreys' left foot, right off of the toe.
Phil Friels saying he did not call anything. The interesting part, it felt like live, maybe he was out there quickly.
And he gets his mask off here. He throws his hands up. It did look like for a second he was saying dead ball. I can see where the confusion comes from, though, on the UCF side, just with his hands going up. I think that's what you and I saw up here in the booth, too.
There's a 2-out walk. Oftentimes, I do, not that the players don't ever try to get away with something, but in stuff like that that's bang bang, I always feel like you know by the player. And she never ran. Humphreys never even thought about running, so she felt it, obviously hit her foot and stayed. Now you in the box, we can't trust a thing.
I knew that's exactly where you were going on that.
If you hit a ground ball, you were like, no, that hit me. I'm not going anywhere.
I did, when I did foul pitches off of my foot, I tried to pretend like it didn't hurt because I didn't want the pitcher to know that I was in pain, even though we all know I was. So I just pretend that my foot wasn't throbbing.
We have entered the most dangerous part of the UCF lineup. 7-8-9, Beth Damon 2 for 2 today with a solo home run. Ground ball left side, hops up on Edwards. She's got such a strong arm though, and that retires the side in an interesting inning, to say the least. But we're going to the bottom of the 5th, still a 2-run game. Another close game going on over on ESPN Plus. Northwestern leading Missouri 2-0 with 2 on and 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. So the Tigers need to get out of it, and they need to get back to the plate for a chance to try and force extras or win it.
All the scoring for Northwestern came in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Kelsey Nader with a single and Emma Ray with a single as well. One of the highlights, too, I want to make sure that I point out, it was against a UCF when Northwestern was playing UCF. Emma Ray ended up catching a foul tip off of her thigh, bounced back up, and then she caught it for strike 3 in the out. It was an awesome play.
Oklahoma State and Duke tied 6-6 on ESPN2. Oklahoma State just got out of a bases-loaded jam against the Blue Devils. Kenny Gajewski is going to need a spa day after this weekend, because all they've done is played high-drama games.
They're battle-tested early this year.
He's going to need a nice retreat when he gets back to Stillwater before they play 3 games against Nebraska.
Yes, yes.
1-1, Lassiter chases it upstairs 1 and 2. She is 2 for 2 with a couple singles, but it's the first look at Vega for her. Inside ball 2. UCF picked 5th in the Big 12 preseason poll. Texas Tech, Oklahoma State, the top 2. Arizona State and Arizona tied for the 3rd spot. That's going to be an interesting conference to watch this year, especially with that top 5.
A lot of really great pitching in the Big 12 this year, too. I could say the same for last year, but we're watching Isabella Vega here for UCF. Think about Nigeri Kennedy and Caitlin Terry for Texas Tech. Kenzie Brown is another name that you need to get to know for Arizona State.
Popped up and out of play.
We've been able to watch Ruby Malin and Riley Crandall for Oklahoma State.
Big 12's already had some big wins as well, and it's not just Texas Tech, but Arizona played a 3-game series on opening weekend against Oklahoma, and they beat the Sooners in one of those games thanks to a grand slam from Taylor Beal, and Jalen Adams, their transfer pitcher from Iowa, with a tremendous performance in the circle. That looks to be Arizona's clear-cut ace. Hard when you lose Devin Netz and Miranda Stoddard.
Both two-way players, too, the seasons that they had. Had some transfers as well. Dakota Kennedy transferred to Arkansas for this season. Caitlin Lowe has done a tremendous job with that Arizona program, taking over after Coach Candrea retired.
The wait has been for fresh softballs. Lassiter, plenty of foul balls, and then Vega bounces one in. Lassiter is fired up.
We'll see if LSU is going to be able to capitalize with runners on board. They've been able to have a lot of traffic throughout this game, but a lot of credit to not just the pitchers for UCF, but the defense having their backs behind them to be able to help them get out of some of those jams. But this seems like the time. You've got the top of your order coming up for the LSU Tigers. This is the time that you need to try to put some runs on the board.
Shallow right field. Humphreys goes back, called off though by Calvez.
The interesting part, looking at these at-bats for LSU too, one of my keys to the game is for them was to limit the strikeouts, and they've done exactly that. 0 strikeouts in this game for the LSU offense. And yet they've only been able to push 1 run across, and that was all the way back in the first inning.
An excellent defense, in particular up the middle for UCF with Aubrey Evans and CeCe Humphreys. 1-0 pitch. Oh my goodness, that is ripped foul at the LSU dugout from Bergeron. UCF would love a double play here to not bring Tori Edwards to the plate in a situation where she could be the tying or go-ahead run. Bounced in, not in time to get Lassiter at first. 2-1. Swing and a miss. Two popped up and out of play. Eyes on Vega. 2-2 off speed, lifted to left field, and going back, it's off the glove of Washington and left. Lassiter had to hold up. She was actually going to try and tag from first, so she's only able to get to second, but LSU will take it.
Good adjustment by Bergeron too in this at bat. Gets that changeup that she's able to hit hard out to left field. Remember, Destiny Washington started off this ball game in center field, moved over to left field, sits back on this changeup, gets a good piece of it, and it tips off of the top of the glove of Destiny Washington all the way out to left field. A little bit of traffic over at first base, but I don't blame Jayla Lassiter for being back at first, trying to tag.
First pitch strike to Tori Edwards in the cleanup spot with Lassiter on second, Bergeron on first. Edwards is the go-ahead run. big swing, popped up on the infield, and that is a gift for UCF.
It's a huge out for Isabella Vega. Getting the infield pop-up against Tori Edwards, who has incredible power. Could see she was just a little bit off time with that rise ball, 62 miles an hour up in the zone, the late jump. That was a big pitch for Vega.
LSU has won for their last 16 with runners in scoring position.
And it hasn't been the number of hits for this LSU offense. It's the timeliness of the hits, or the lack thereof, for them the past couple of games. Even looking at this game, they have 7 hits already, just 1 run across.
All singles. One count. And that misses. UCF thought that was strike 2.
Looked like that came in just below the letters. But the call goes in LSU's favor.
Two 2-1 to Hutchins. That one is in there for strike 2. Ooh, situational hitting, Maddie, for LSU. Risk the 2-out hitting.
And 2 for 26 with 2 outs, just 1 run so far this weekend.
Got her. Vega fired up as she strands a pair. The first time LSU has struck out today.
What a time for the strikeout. Isabella Vega working that rise ball all the way at the top of the zone. A hesitant swing by Hutchins. This UCF team is loving it.
Ruby Malin still out there for the Cowgirls. We've seen a lot of 66 in the early going of this season.
A lot of scoring in the early part of that ball game, too. Oklahoma State ended up scoring 3 runs in each the first and the third inning. Duke put up a 5 spot in the second inning, but neither team has scored since the third.
174 pitches for Ruby Malin this weekend.
And Coach Kenny Gajewski has been using her and Riley Crandall a lot this weekend. Crandall actually started that game, ended up going an inning and a third before Ruby came in relief.
I think maybe the biggest positive, or 2 positives for Oklahoma State, is Riley Crandall seems to be getting it going this weekend, and Rosie Davis got the bat going in a huge way yesterday after a slow 5-6 games out of the gates.
And they're still popped top to bottom in that order, too. You think about Amanda Hasler and the home run that she hit on this field a couple of days ago for the game that we were calling. You mentioned Rosie Davis, Carly Godwin in there as well. Audrey Schneidmiller with a pinch hit home run this weekend. A couple of changes to that batting order for Coach Gajewski today, too. JL Austin, a fantastic freshman for them, had been batting in that leadoff spot. He's moved her down just a little bit in the order. But she's somebody, too, who I feel like when she gets going, it's really going to boost this offense.
There's the spot you said you would have.
Ah, yes.
Oh, look at that! Off the third base bag. Coco Jaimez with a dot.
Have yourself a day. Coco Jaimez laid down a perfect sac bunt in the second inning, had her first double of the season in the fourth inning, and then smokes this one straight down the third baseline for another base hit in this ball game. Hard line drive right past the glove of Ciela Pickett. Looks like it even hit maybe off of the third base bag. But a great way to get things started for this offense in the top of the 6th.
She just needed to hit the outside of the bag and send that into the wall for extra bases.
Yes, be a little bit more strategic as to where it hits off of the corner of the base, right?
Look at that, 7, 8, 9, 5 hits, 2 extra base hits, 2 of their 3 runs scored.
Love to see it, love to see that production. Takes some pressure off of the top of the order, too. Don't need Izzy Mertez or Ashley Griffin to come through with a home run every single time, but also I think about it, setting the table for the top of your order, getting runners on base for people like Kendall Yarnell and Aubrey Evans.
Taking the pressure off those bats, too. Bunt that hit the bat, though, bounced up off the dirt and hit the bat a second time.
Two strikes here. We're going to see if Washington can move Jaimez over into scoring position.
Outside corner, strike 3.
Washington tried to lay down that bunt on the pitch before, but Salora is a really challenging pitcher to have to bunt off of because of that sharp down movement. And even here, throwing that pitch more in the top part of the zone just completely freezes Destiny Washington's two strikeouts now for Salora in this game.
6th strikeout offensively for UCF today. They had just 7 in their first 9 games. Top of the order, but this is Samantha Ray who entered defensively for Kendall Yarnell. She will lay down the bunt. Has some wheels too, going down the first baseline. She is safe.
Wow.
Another really nice bunt laid down, just as we were talking about how difficult it is. You almost have to anticipate the downward movement on that pitch, and Samantha Ray puts on a clinic on how to lay down a bunt for a base hit. Beats it out, gets some backspin on that bunt as well, and now you've got 2 runners on board for the heart of your lineup.
Inside corner, strike 1 from Salura. Aubrey Evans, couple hits in this game. Ground ball right side. That's a good awkward bounce. It just twisted up Daniel at second. 1 run scores and 2 more in scoring position. It's just one of those bounces.
It is one of those bounces, and I feel for Sierra Daniel because there is just really nothing you can do as an infielder on this one. Off of the end of the bat of Aubrey Evans, so she hits this one, just throws her hands at it in that dreaded second hop for these middle infielders. Takes the first hop right there. Look at the backspin. It almost cuts back towards center field. So Sierra Daniel was going after that ground ball, anticipating that it's going to run more towards the right field side, and instead cuts back towards center field. She has to go across her body to try to knock that one down. But it lets a run, an additional run score for UCF.
Sometimes you just throw your hands up and say, what are you going to do?
You know, I have a tendency to be pretty tough when it comes to my scorebook and putting errors down. That one to me is a tough one to give an error to Sierra Daniel just because of the way that that ball spun back the other direction. Yes, she made contact with the ball, but that was just one of those ground balls where nobody could anticipate where that one was going to bounce. And they do end up ruling it a single. I would agree in that moment.
Still just 1 out. 2 in scoring position for Izzy Mertez. UCF 4 for 10 with runners in scoring position in this game. Takes ball 1.
Big spot for Izzy Mertez, too, with 2 runners in scoring position. She ended up striking out on a drop ball in her last at-bat. Salora was really trying to work that drop inside.
And base hit up the middle for Mertez. Another run comes across. 5-1 UCF.
Just looks like Izzy Mertez is using the information from her strikeout the last at-bat and almost using that as her game plan in this at-bat. The inside drop ball was a problem last at-bat, so what does she do? She goes up there and she swings at it in this at-bat, drives it back up the middle, doesn't hit it straight on the sweet spot, but gets enough of it to drive it out to the outfield to bring another run in.
Strike one from Salura. Cleanup hitter Ashley Griffin, 1 for 3 on the day with a single. Griffin still looking for her first home run of the season after 6 last year. That was a career high. One, two. Popped up, playable for Edwards.
Huge out number 2 for CC Salora, and getting the fly ball out too. We know when she's out there, you've got to anticipate a lot of ground balls, but we've seen some funky hops with the ground balls, so she's able to get a fly ball out. You know, her infield appreciates that. It's tough for a drop ball pitcher too, because you need to stick to what makes you effective in the circle, and for her, it's inducing ground balls. You got to just trust that eventually your defense is going to be able to help you find your way out of it.
A couple of UCF's runs have come with 2 outs. Humphreys hard hit. Right side, Daniel handles this one. 2 insurance runs for the Knights. LSU, clock's ticking.
Over Missouri, Marina Mason going the full 7, ended up with 9 strikeouts against the Missouri Tigers to help give Northwestern that win. They ended up winning that game 3-0. 2 2-out RBIs for Northwestern. Those 2-out RBIs seem to be coming in play in our game here between LSU and UCF too. And still a close one, still a really good battle between Oklahoma State and Duke over on the other field. 2 runners on board for Oklahoma State, and make that 3.
Bases loaded, 2 outs in the 6th inning for the Cowgirls. We are also in the 6th, bottom of the 6th. The Tigers need some life, and speaking of, we just talked about JL Austin a few minutes ago. Here is the freshman who has a grand slam this season.
I think she has a really powerful swing, and with that, looks like Duke is going to make a pitching change too. As we could say that icing the freshman a bit with a new pitcher coming in a bases loaded situation.
For LSU, Char Lorenz leading off this inning. It's a 1-1 count. This is a big transfer for LSU. Char Lorenz, a redshirt sophomore from Munster, Indiana. 2 years at Louisville. Set the Louisville single-season freshman RBI record with 53 last year. She missed the 2024 season. She's into left center and caught for out number 1. Women's basketball takes over SEC Network every Sunday. We've got 4 games featuring 5 top 25 teams. Michaela Blakes and number 5 Vanderbilt kick it off, squaring off against Georgia at noon Eastern. All 4 games on the ESPN app. 2 top 25 matchups in there. One out. Check swing is hit into foul territory by Alex Franklin. Who rallied the troops for you guys at Tennessee? When you were in a little bit of a rut, who was the player on your team? Maybe it was you that kind of somehow, maybe in a lighthearted way or a serious way, got you guys going.
I feel like it kind of changed every single year. We had a lot of people that were always trying to force their way to the front of the dugout because we all wanted to be that person. And I think that's what you want from a team, is to have everybody picking each other up. Now, we had some players in the dugout that loved to dance and loved to be loud. And we also had some players that maybe were a little bit more quiet, a bit more intense. So trying to read your personalities and all realizing you need to come together in some of these moments where things maybe aren't going your way.
Did she go? She did not.
Take another look at this check swing here. Let's see if she holds up. I think that's a good call. I think she held her swing there. Pretty close. Alex Franklin had herself a really good opening weekend, too. A couple of triples off of the bat of Franklin.
Popped up. Evans, 2 outs. You were serious, weren't you?
I was very serious, yes. I promise I was having fun, but you're not going to find too many pictures of me smiling back in the day on the field, but I promise I was having fun.
Stepping in for LSU, number 10, Riley Johnson.
Riley Johnson, a true freshman from Virginia, is going to pinch hit here for LSU's Kylie Edwards. Ball 1 upstairs. Johnson 1 for 4 this season at the plate. She has walked, she has been hit by a pitch, she has found her way on a few times, and they're just looking for a spark. They're also looking for a base runner to make sure they get far enough in the order. Macy Bajeron would be due up 4th next inning if Johnson can't get on. Tori Edwards is after her. Obviously, you need 4 runs anyway.
Coach Sydney Ball Malone coming out to have a conversation with Isabella Vega. My guess is this conversation has to do with the 2-0 count, especially with a new batter coming into the ball game, a true freshman coming into the ball game, falling behind 2-0, trying to get her back on track and get herself back into this count. Now, one thing I do notice with where Johnson sets up in the box, she has her toes on that chalk line, so she is challenging Isabella Vega with where she's standing. There she is, pretty much standing right on top of the chalk line. There it is, strike 1 pumped in there. I know we joke about this often, but I'd love to know the stat on strikes thrown after coaches come out for a meeting in the circle. I'd imagine it's a pretty high percentage.
Did she go? She did.
A little bit of disbelief on Johnson's face after that. Let's take a look at the side view here. That's close.
Obviously, our camera is a little bit further up, I would say. It's not directly.
That one was close. I feel like it could have gone either way, but I do think she might have held up there.
Got her on the inside corner. First 1, 2, 3 inning for UCF defensively.
2 innings in a row now where Isabella Vega has ended the inning on a strikeout. This time it is looking UCF Knights rolling in this one. today's Impact Player, brought to you by Visit St. Pete Clearwater. And for the UCF Knights, it is Beth Damon showing off the defense and the arm back behind the plate, catching a runner stealing, but she's showing some pop in the bottom half of this order, batting 7th today for the Knights, and she hit a home run that went a long way out to left field. Then bringing it on the offense and on the defense, and we're going to see her coming up second in this inning.
3rd home run of the season for Damon. Hoping that she'll have a base runner to work with Zoe Calvez leading things off for UCF. Takes ball 1 from Salura. Strike 1 right down the middle. Almost in foul territory, and the crowd was...
Yeah, the crowd and the dugout were telling Zoe to hustle down the line because they weren't sure if that ball was going to stay in fair territory.
I don't think a word was said. I think it was just a lot of
noises.
Okay. 2-2. Alves does it again. This time it is fair. She's way too fast, though. It's going to go down as an infield single to lead off the 7th.
Almost like deja vu. That one just happened to get into fair territory off of the end of the bat. A good hop here. Tori Edwards was playing up, but because that ball was almost deadened on the end of the bat, there was not much that Edwards could do to try to make a play on it.
They have had a hit in 6 of 7 innings today. 4th time their leadoff batter has reached. Foul ball on the first pitch to Damon. 2 for 3 in the game. A sophomore catcher from Edmond, Oklahoma. All Big 12 freshman team a year ago.
Second time that she's seeing Cece Salura in this ball game. Hit a ground ball over to shortstop, her last at bat.
Two one. That off of her self, maybe her ankle there. Hunched over for a second.
Yeah, she does have the ankle guard. Looks to be okay.
A lot more games starting soon. That 1 Eastern time slot, Texas Tech, NC State, one of those that'll get kicked off here in about 45 minutes. Florida Atlantic and Tennessee just now underway. Bottom of the 1st, they're over on field 3. Off the end of the bat, this is going to be a double play. Edwards has it and tosses it over to first for 2.
Here's Texas Tech. Red Raiders getting ready. 3 wins already so far this weekend. close game, another one-run game against Florida State, win over Northwestern and Florida Atlantic.
They're scary. With Caitlin Terry behind Nigeri Kennedy, that is a scary 1-2 punch.
And the lineup, too. Maya Davis is so good in their lineup.
There she is
Jazzy
dancing.
Burns, yep. Jazzy Burns transfer over from Ohio State, has a ton of power. Taylor Pannell, Mia Williams, Alana Johnson. The list goes on and on of
Lauren Allred?
the powerful bats that they have.
You could probably make 2 pretty good lineups.
I'd imagine those scrimmages get pretty intense.
You got to really prove it on that team because there is production waiting behind you if you're not performing.
Well, and the way that head coach Jerry Glasgow can use his lineup in different ways, have different batters batting depending on the type of pitching that he thinks they're going to face that day.
1-2, got her looking. And it basically works out to be a 1-2-3 inning, even with the leadoff single. 9-1-2 for LSU. They need a big 7th inning.
Weather down here in Clearwater.
It's a good spot to spend it too, in the booth, watching some of the best teams in the country.
Beach weather, softball weather.
LSU has not scored since the first, but they are no stranger to dramatic finishes. One come from behind win in the 7th inning came against NC State in opening weekend. They trailed 5-2 and ended up winning on a walk-off 7-5. Even last night against Duke, had the tying run at the plate, or excuse me, had the tying run on base with nobody out and had 3 straight batters retired. Nine, 1-2, as that is a strike against Destiny Harris.
This is that rise ball so far up in the zone. You might be wondering, when that pitch is coming in about helmet high, why are these batters swinging at it? Well, it's that late jump. It makes you think that that pitch is going to stay about belt high.
The first at bat of the season for Destiny Harris, sophomore from Norfolk, Virginia. One, 2. She did not go around. UCF beat Northwestern 6-4 in their opener here in Clearwater. They were run ruled in 5 innings by Georgia 13-5. Bulldogs had a big breakfast yesterday because they were going crazy at the plate. 3-2, so great at bat here from Destiny Harris. Got her looking.
When you see rise ball after rise ball, especially the locations that she was throwing them earlier in this at bat, she missed outside with the changeup, comes back with the low rise ball. So this one starting about knee high, ends up right at the belt to get her looking. 3rd strikeout on the afternoon for Isabella Vega.
Lassiter at the plate with 1 out. She hit the walk-off against NC State last weekend. This time is just going to have to be the spark plug for this offense. Off the end of the bat, but that'll do. A base hit for Lassiter Friday, another great gymnastics doubleheader on SEC Network. Number 5 Florida heads to Athens to face off against number 6 Georgia at 7 Eastern. And then Auburn hosting 3rd-ranked Alabama in another top 20 matchup. Both meets also available on the ESPN app. Alabama, Auburn, doesn't matter what sport, it'll be intense. First pitch ball to Sierra Daniel. LSU has life here thanks to Jayla Lassiter's single. Duke has taken the lead on Oklahoma State in the 7th inning, 9-6. (1-0) ground ball left side. Daniel too fast for 2, but they get the lead runner, and LSU's down to their final out.
Sierra Daniel kind of going back to the short game the last couple of at-bats today after getting some base hits this weekend, swinging away. She slapped in her last at-bat, slaps there, hits it over to shortstop to Aubrey Evans, who gets the lead runner out.
Talking down to number 12, Macy Bergeron.
Macy Bergeron. Last chance for Beth Torina and company, who get UCLA tomorrow to wrap up the Clearwater Invitational. Texas A&M and Northwestern already winners today. Duke closing in on a win, and UCF hoping to join those. We'll have UCF's next game against Nebraska coming up at 1:30 on ESPN+. It's in there for strike one, 2-1 count. They finish with NC State tomorrow. This is a UCF team that will play 19 of their first 24 games at home. The other 5 in that stretch are in Clearwater. They don't leave the state of Florida until March 6th. 2-1 ground ball left side. This should do it, and it does. Great all-around performance from the Knights.
Big win for UCF. You got great pitching performances in the circle by Hildy Dempsey, followed up by Isabella Vega, and cannot say enough about how tough this UCF lineup is to navigate. There's a lot of experience in this team. They made it all the way to the regional final in Austin last year, carrying over that experience this year to get a big win over LSU down here in Clearwater.
Right here.
UCF still has one more today. They will have Nebraska in about an hour's time on ESPN+. LSU done for the day. They'll finish up with UCLA tomorrow. Still so many more games coming your way today and tomorrow from Clearwater. For my partner Madison Shipman and our entire awesome crew, I'm Chucky Kemp. Let's go to Peter Burns in the studio with SEC Now.